Imagine insulting your father one final time. Imagine taking everything he could give you, then leaving home, never looking back. Years pass. You return with nothing. No money, no friends, no pride. Then you see your father running toward you, not away. This is the story Jesus told, but something hidden inside it most people miss. Something that changes who this story is really about. Stay with me. This will surprise you. 2,000 years later, this story still cuts deep, because it was never really about one lost son. It was about every heart that drifts from love. Some drift through rebellion, others through pride. Jesus knew both kinds of hearts in his audience, and he built a story that would expose them both. Let's walk through it together from the beginning. There was a man with 2 sons, a father who owned land, servants, flocks. In 1st century Judea, this made him a respected man. Land meant status, servants meant honor. A household like this was the center of village life. The younger son was restless, hungry for more. He watched caravans pass, dreaming of distant cities. The older son stayed close, worked hard. He rose before dawn, checked every field himself. He never left his father's side. Every decision on the farm passed through his hands. On the surface, this family looked peaceful. Neighbors admired their order and discipline. The father loved both sons equally, but love alone does not guarantee understanding. Neither son fully understood that love. The younger wanted freedom, not relationship. To him, his father's house felt like a cage. The older wanted approval, not relationship either. To him, obedience was a transaction, not affection. Every task he finished, he expected recognition for. 2 sons, 2 different distances from their father's heart. In Jewish households of that era, inheritance followed strict law. The firstborn received a double portion of everything. The younger son would receive roughly 1/3. But inheritance was only given after the father's death. To ask for it early broke every social norm. At this moment, everything seemed normal, but one request was about to break this peace. The younger son approached his father. "Father, give me my share now." In that culture, this request was brutal. It meant treating his father as if already dead. Rabbinic teaching of the time called this deeply shameful. No son asked for inheritance before death. It was a public insult to the family name. Word of a request like this spread through the village fast. The father's honor was now at stake publicly. Yet the father said nothing. He gave it. He divided his property between both sons. This meant selling land that had been in the family for generations. A father's willingness to do this reveals something remarkable. He chose his son's freedom over his own reputation. The younger son took his share immediately. He converted land and livestock into silver and gold. Every asset turned into something he could carry away. And then he did something even more shocking. He sold it all and left. He did not glance back at his father's face. The road ahead promised everything the farm never could. He traveled to a distant country, likely a Gentile region, far from Jewish law and custom. A place where no one knew his name, no father watching, no brother judging. At first, life felt like freedom. Wine flowed, strangers became friends, money bought attention, laughter, company. Every night looked like celebration. The Greek text calls this reckless living. Not just wasteful, scattered, thrown away without thought. Each coin he spent was land his family once farmed, but his fortune was shrinking fast. Reckless living drains a man quickly. The very friends he bought began disappearing. Soon, the money was completely gone, and so were his new friends. No one stays for an empty table.
The applause that once filled the room went silent. Then a famine struck the land. Food became scarce for everyone, everywhere. Prices rose. Mercy disappeared with the harvest. He had no money, no home, no family. The son, who once had everything, now had nothing. But his lowest moment was still ahead. Desperate, he attached himself to a local citizen. He took the only work he could find, feeding pigs, animals his people called unclean. For a Jewish man, this was the deepest possible shame. The law of Moses called pigs unclean, forbidden. Feeding them meant touching what his faith rejected. He grew so hungry he envied the pigs' food, carob pods, husks, food fit only for animals. No one gave him anything to eat. The boy who once feasted now begged for scraps. Sitting in the mud, he remembered something. His father's servants had food to spare. Even hired workers ate better than this. And here he was, starving among pigs. The gospel says he came to himself.
A moment of waking up from a long illusion. For the first time, he stopped blaming everyone else. Not the famine, not his friends, not fate. He looked honestly at his own choices and understood exactly what he had done. How many hired servants have bread enough to spare? And I perish here with hunger. I will get up and go to my father. He decided to return home, whatever it cost. Not to demand rights, but to admit failure. But one fear gripped him immediately. Would his father even accept him back? The distance home felt shorter than the shame ahead. He rehearsed the words he would say. Father, I have sinned against heaven and you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Let me be like one of your servants. He planned to give up his identity as a son. Servant status meant food, shelter, and safety. It was the most he believed he deserved. He knew he deserved rejection. He expected shame. He expected punishment. Perhaps even public disgrace before the whole village. Mile after mile, his fear grew heavier. Every step closer felt like walking toward judgment. But what happened next, he never expected. His father was watching from a distance. Day after day, he had waited for this, scanning every traveler who passed the horizon, hoping each one might be his son. Then he saw a familiar shape approaching. Something about the walk, the posture, felt familiar, and something in his heart recognized him instantly. The father did not wait for him to arrive. He ran. An old man, running. In that culture, elders never ran in public. Running meant lifting his robe, exposing his legs. A dignified man simply did not do this. Running meant humiliation. He didn't care. His love outweighed every social rule that day. He reached his son and embraced him. He didn't wait for an explanation first. The embrace came before a single word of apology. The son tried to speak his rehearsed words. Father, I have sinned against heaven. The father interrupted him with joy. He never let his son finish the servant speech. Bring the best robe. Put it on him. This robe was reserved for the most honored guest. Put a ring on his finger, sandals on his feet. A ring meant authority. Sandals meant he was no slave. Only free sons wore sandals in that household. Kill the fattened calf. Let us celebrate. This calf was saved for the greatest occasions only. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. The son came home expecting to be a servant. His father welcomed him as a son. Grace had already answered before guilt finished speaking. Music and dancing filled the house that night. Neighbors gathered, drawn by the sound of celebration. But someone was missing from the celebration. The older son was still out in the fields. Another long day of labor, as always. He heard music before he reached the house. Unfamiliar sounds for an ordinary evening. He asked a servant what was happening. "Your brother has returned. Your father is celebrating. He killed the fattened calf. Your brother is safe." The older brother's face changed instantly. Joy should have been his first response. Instead, something darker rose inside him. Why would his father celebrate a son who wasted everything? He refused to walk through that door. The celebration continued without him, just feet away. The father came outside to find him. He left his own celebration to seek this son too. "Come in, son. Join the celebration." His voice held no anger, only invitation. The older son's anger finally broke loose. "I have served you for years, never disobeyed you." Notice the word he chose. Served, not loved. He described years at home like a hired laborer would. "You never even gave me a young goat." A goat was a small thing, far less than a calf. But for him, you kill the fattened calf. He wouldn't even call him my brother. "This son of yours," he said instead, distancing himself. He had never left home physically, but his heart had drifted far away. Envy had been growing inside him for years. Quiet resentment, never spoken until this moment. Pride convinced him his obedience earned him rewards, as if love could be purchased through labor. Resentment told him his father owed him more. He measured his worth by comparison, not relationship. The younger son was lost in a distant country. The older son was lost standing at home. Two brothers, two very different kinds of distance from love. Jesus told this story to a specific crowd. Tax collectors and sinners gathered to hear him. People the religious system had already rejected. Religious leaders stood at the edges, judging. Pharisees and scribes, experts in the law of Moses. They complained that Jesus welcomed sinners. "This man receives sinners and eats with them." Sharing a meal meant accepting someone fully. So Jesus answered them with this story. He told 3 parables that day about lost things: a lost sheep, a lost coin, and finally, this son. Each one built toward the same hidden point. The Father represents God's patient love, waiting, watching, ready to forgive completely. Not distant or reluctant, but eager to embrace. The younger son represents those who walk away, people who lose everything, then return humbled. Their sin was obvious, their shame visible to all. The older son represents something more dangerous, someone who stays close but never truly loves, someone who obeys rules but resents grace. His sin was hidden inside good behavior. No one at the feast could see his bitterness. Jesus was not only speaking about runaways, he was speaking to people who felt already close to God, people who never left, yet never truly belonged. Obedience without love becomes its own kind of exile. This story was not really about a runaway son. It was aimed at the men judging Jesus. They despised sinners who came back to God. They believed their obedience made them superior. Years of law-keeping had hardened into pride. They forgot the law was meant to lead toward mercy. Jesus exposed the pride hiding in their hearts. He never finished the story with the older son's answer. The parable ends without telling us his choice, because that choice belonged to the Pharisees listening, and it belongs to everyone who hears this story since. The question was never just, who is the prodigal son? The real question became far more personal. Which son are you in this story? Are you far from home, afraid to return? Or are you standing at the door, unwilling to enter? Maybe you see yourself in the younger son, someone who walked away and never looked back. You made choices you never thought you'd make. You believe you've gone too far to return. But the road home was never measured by distance. It was only ever measured by a decision to turn around. Or maybe you're the older brother instead, doing everything right, but carrying quiet anger,
Obedient on the outside, resentful on the inside.
measuring your worth against someone else's mistakes. Grace was never meant to be measured that way. The story ends with the father at the door. One son is already inside celebrating. The other is still standing outside. And the father is waiting for both. Truly, I tell you, the door is never locked. Every son and daughter who returns is welcomed home. Every heart standing outside is still invited in. This story was never only about a distant country or about a field where an older brother stood alone. It was about a father who never stopped loving either son. The question Jesus leaves you with is simple. Which one are you?